Hello, my name is Matthew Yeager. I'll be your instructor this semester. I wanted to sit down and talk with you all for a few minutes about the class and what to be expected. Um, some of us may have not taken an online course before. Some of us may have signed up for this class not intending to take an online course, but here we are. So, I wanted to say hello, let you see my face, hear my voice, so you know who you'll be working with these next 8 weeks. Another reminder, this is not a 16-week course, this is an 8-week course, which means that the work can be a lot if you let it be a lot, right? If you don't stay on top of the work, then it can be a problem for you. It can weigh down on your shoulders, and we don't want that to happen. So the best way to deal with this course is to stay with it. I won't say every day, but 2 to 3 times a week at the least is probably a good idea to do. There will be a few assignments due each week, 2 or 3 discussion posts or smaller writing assignments. And then we will have 3 major essays due this semester. The first of which I believe is due next week, so we need to get going on that. But anyway, hello, nice to meet you. Let's see here. What about myself? My name is Matthew Yeager. I've been teaching English and Humanities at Oklahoma City Community College for 5 years. I think it's 5 years. I live in Edmond. I got my degree from UCO. I have a master's in TESOL, which is Teaching English as a Second Language. And here until a week ago, I was also employed as an oil and gas landman at Echo Energy. I don't know if you're aware, but times are not kind to the oil industry, so I no longer work there. We had to let a whole lot of people go. So, but anyway, so this is my focus right now, right? So we need to do some writing. Like I said here, I have the syllabus all printed out here for me, so we can go through this. You don't have to have it printed out when you're going through this, but I have it. So we have 3 major essays this semester, right? The first one is a narrative essay, right? It's on the syllabus here. It says writing for the self, and essentially what that is it's a personal essay, right? You're communicating some personal feelings through your work, right? So that could be a story. It could be. It needs to be some connection to yourself and your life and your own experiences that you can speak on. That's essay number 1. Essay number 2 is writing for the community. That's the informative essay. And what that is information gathering, right? So what we'll do in there, more so than essay 1, we'll have more experience with collecting information, with researching information, finding good information. That's important. We'll talk about that later. But finding good information, taking out the bits that will be useful for you in your essay, and then reorganizing that information so that it makes sense to the reader in your own words, right? So that's essay 2, will be in informing the reader about some things. And then essay 3 is the argumentative essay. That's the most complicated. It's also the most point-rich. Yeah, it is the most valuable essay. That's our 3rd major essay. And again, that involves taking information and synthesizing it and making it work for the point that you're making. The tricky part about argumentative essays is trying to convince the reader that your position is correct, right? So you take it could be, it doesn't have to be a hotly controversial topic, but it can be. So you choose your topic, and then you use your words to try to convince the reader that your position on this idea is the correct one, right? And you do that by bringing in evidence, by bringing outside sources that help support your position, right? I believe this, and I have all these people over here in these medical journals or scholarly journals or magazine articles or what have you that say the same thing. So you should agree with me because I have all these people to support me, right? That's the argumentative essay. That's the third major essay we'll do this semester. And then on top of that, we'll have a few smaller assignments as we go along. We have a textual analysis where we will read something and then we will evaluate it based on how well it got its point across, how well it made its argument, right? Whether we agree with it or not. Let's see. And then, as we go along, look, the discussion questions are part of this course. I didn't design this course, but I will say that starting this semester, we have a new structure, a new class structure. The course has been completely redesigned from the ground up for us starting this semester. And I will say that it's beautiful, right? It is so much more well organized, and it has so many more pieces, resources for you than it did before. It's wonderful. It's a great course now. But it still includes discussion questions, and I know that discussion questions, online discussion questions, are not everyone's favorite, right? When I was in school, they were not my favorite. But they serve a purpose, right? Especially now in this required online format, we don't have the chance to be in the same room together. We can't talk face to face very easily. And so that's what the discussion questions do. They take that place of classroom engagement, right? So you can make a statement and then you can get feedback from your other students about what you're saying. They can agree with you, they can disagree with you, you can have conversations there. But that element is necessary in this class. And so that's why the discussion questions are there, and then that's why they'll stay there. Grading, it's a normal 1,000-point semester. Your regular percentages match up to the letter grades. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, so on and so forth. And then makeup work. So I wanted to talk a little bit about due dates, right? So this is an online course, and that means that I'm not there with you. I'm not reminding you directly that things are coming due. I'll send out messages, of course. I'll try to remind you that way, but it's a bit different online. You are much more on your own. You are much more responsible for yourself and your assignments and your grade in this format. And it's easy to put things off. It's easy to procrastinate. I've never procrastinated a day in my life, but there's other people who I don't associate with because they're questionable. May procrastinate sometimes, and again, not myself, but that can cause problems in a class like this, especially with large essays to write. I am shaking the desk a lot. I'm going to stop doing that. Okay, we're good. Okay. These papers don't write themselves, and when we rush the writing of these papers, it shows, right? It's very difficult to write one of these major essays quickly and do it well and get a good grade on it. It's not impossible. Some people can work that way, but especially us, when we're getting used to the process, when we're getting into learning how to write these papers from scratch, they need time. They need to happen in stages. If if the paper is due on a Sunday and you sit down Saturday night at 10 p.m. to begin the process, you are very, very unlikely to do well in that situation. So please pay attention to the deadlines on Moodle. The assignments that are already set up in Moodle have deadlines on there already. And I need you to pay attention to those and follow those, because honestly, your grade will improve if you do. Your grade will suffer if you don't follow these deadlines closely. So, let's see. Emails, yeah. Anytime you need to contact me, you have to use the school email. I am not allowed by the school. They will not allow me to contact you, to correspond with you over individual emails, right? Especially concerning grades and assignments and things. I'm just not allowed to do it. So anytime you have any questions about those, please use my school email, which is on the syllabus. You see on the first page of the syllabus here, we have, this is backwards. Oh no, where is it? My name here, my email and office hours and phone and everything. Office hours will be appointment only. I have no problem driving down to the school and meeting you for an office meeting. That's no problem at all. But given the virus and given the social distancing and how we're supposed to stay away from each other whenever possible, video meetings work great. I can do Zoom, I can do Skype, I can do Microsoft Teams, I can do other things. But if we simply must meet in person, then an appointment for that would be best, right? All right, so we looked at the essays. Let's talk about the textbooks, right? So this is great. This is great. This is the first time this happened for me at this school since I've been teaching here. We don't have to buy textbooks this year. What? I've struggled with textbooks so many times. I've purchased my own textbooks to hand out to students. I have told students, do not buy the current edition, right? Go buy an edition that's 2 or 3 years old. Go buy an ebook version of it, right? Because textbooks are just, it's unconscionable how expensive those things can be. I don't understand how people can live with themselves and charge $300-400 for a textbook that you're going to use in one elective course and then never touch again, and then sell back for $35. I don't know how people can live with themselves. But we don't have to worry about that this semester because the textbooks are free and they're online. So if we go to Moodle, I can't show you. Can I? Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. Is this going to work? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Hold on. I'm still learning this video thing. Stay with me. Stay with me. Okay. Let's look at this. Can you see me? Can you see me? If we go to start here, yes, and we scroll down, look at this, look at this. Here are our textbooks. We have 2 of them. We have Let's Get Writing, and we have You Writing. Okay? So we are going to be using those during the semester. Where am I? Come back. Come back. Go away. Make bigger. All right. I have no idea if that worked or not. I apologize if it didn't. I'm still figuring out this whole video recording system. I'll get the hang of it. I'll get the hang of it eventually. We have 2 textbooks there. So if I were you, I would download them, save them to a computer somehow. I think one of them is like 300 pages. The other one's maybe 150 to 200. My wife just came home. No. So download those so you have them to save and you can read them on your own time. But we will need those. Don't lose them and don't neglect them, right? Especially for MLA format, right? Modern Language Association format, that dictates how our papers will look and it decides what kind of citation format we will use for our sources. When we bring information in from an outside source, we have to cite that in our paper. We have to say this information is from this source, it's not mine, right? And the way that we cite that is governed by the MLA guidelines, right? So those two textbooks are essential for that, and I would say there's a website called OWL Purdue, right? Purdue University has this website called Online Writing Lab OWL, like the bird. And they have just a massive amount of information regarding MLA format. That's usually where I tell students to go first, actually. OWL Purdue for all of your MLA information. The online work that we have, like I said, there will be a few assignments due, 1 or 2 or 3 each week. Make sure you stay on top of those. Make sure you pay attention to deadlines, because those assignments will have different deadlines during the week. Some of them will be due on Wednesday, some of them will be due on Friday, some of them will be due on Saturday. So pay attention to deadlines on those. We don't need, unless the activity specifically says a format, don't worry about format. Most of the written work that we turn in this class needs to be in MLA format. Again, that simply means 8.5 by 11 size paper. It means double spaced. It means you're identifying information in the top left, like your name and my name and the date and the course, right? We need a header in the top right of your last name and the page number. Those kinds of things. And again, this is all explained in the textbook. It's all explained on OWL Purdue. If I had an example would be great if I had one to show you. How about this? How about we do this? Okay, I'll show you this. So here's on my paper, we have my name, instructor, blah, blah, blah. We have the title in the middle, and then we have the body of the work. Something like this, yes? Identifying information up here, header up here with your last name and wait, I'm backwards. Last name and page number, the title in the middle, and then the whole thing double spaced. Everything double spaced, including the works cited page, which again, we'll talk about works cited as we go along. We get into essay 1. But that's just the general format that most assignments need to be turned in for this class. Now, late work. I know, I apologize if I'm going too fast. I'm trying to get through a lot of the information that you already have on the syllabus and the schedule. So my future videos hopefully won't be this rushed, right? Late work. The syllabus says that essays 1 and 2 and the textual analysis, one of those smaller assignments that we will do, may be submitted up to 1 week late with a 10% penalty. So you can turn those in on, I should talk about those. Okay. You can turn those in to Moodle up to 1 week late, but they will incur a 10% penalty off the top when that happens. It's generally a good idea to turn in the work by the deadline, because you don't lose any points that way, right? It's easy points to get it turned in by the deadline. Discussion questions cannot be made up after the deadline. We have to get those done during the week we talk about them. The reason for that is that the discussion questions deal directly with the essays that we're writing at the time. So going back 2 weeks later and finishing a discussion question from essay 1 when we're already working on essay 3 doesn't make any sense, right? So let's keep on top of the discussion questions. We can't turn those in late. Same thing with the individual writing activities. Some of those smaller assignments. Not this week, is it? Is it this week? Let's look at week 1. I know we have 2 discussion questions and... okay, so here's an example. So this individual writing activity here, again, I'm hoping you can see my screen. Here we go. This individual writing activity right here. That one cannot be turned in late. That needs to be done this week, no later than August 23rd. Okay? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, good. Okay, here we are. And then finally, the final essay and the reflective writing. Before the semester, we had what was called an action plan. And that's the final writing assignment at the end of the semester. And what that does, it basically says, here is what I learned, here is what made me a better writer, here's what I plan on doing with my writing in the future, that kind of thing. And that's effectively what it is. It's just given a different name. But those final 2 assignments cannot be turned in late. And the reason for that is simply time, right? I have to grade those and turn them around and submit grades to the department by a certain date. And those 2 assignments, the final essay and the reflective writing, they need to be turned in on time so I can make that deadline. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back here and let's look at week 1 real quick. So week 1, this looks a little bit overwhelming. I admit it may be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of information here. These are just simply what we are hoping to accomplish during this unit. And then we have this nice table. And this nice table gives you some information to go along. What you could do using these tables, and they're not all the same. Let's look at week 2 real quick. Week 2 has 4 columns. Week 3 has 4 columns, yeah. So what you could do is kind of break these segments up across the week. You could complete the first column Monday or Tuesday. You could complete the second column Wednesday. You could complete the third column Thursday or Friday. The last column Friday or Saturday. To give you a little bit of space around the week, right? But you'll notice that each one has a mini lecture, each one has an assignment of reading, and each one has an assignment down here of something for you to do. It's quite easy to follow, I would say. Now, these mini lectures are not up there yet. I have to record those. I have not recorded those, but I will, and I'll have them up in the next couple days. I promise. Promise. No fingers crossed, I promise. If we keep scrolling down, we see the Essay 1 assignment sheet, the Essay 1 rubric, rhetorical analysis situation. I'll talk more about these in my videos. Yeah, probably Essay 2, we'll get into that. But that's simply what the essay will require and how it will be graded, right? And then here are your assignments. We have discussion questions and then the individual activity that you'll need to submit to. Now, and then as we go along, here's some great resources for you, some different websites for information, how to write a narrative, those kinds of things. Okay, let's go back to me. Back to me, yes. What else? Well, I guess that's it. That's the introduction to the course. I mean, hello, my name is Matthew Yeager. That's what we'll be doing. Well, some of you have had questions so far, mostly about the videos. I know, I'm sorry. The videos will be forthcoming. But, I mean, I think we'll be all right. And this may not be the format that some of us had expected, but I think we'll be okay going forward. So, any questions, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer it. And thank you for listening. I'll talk to you soon.